Here at Gut Hülsenberg, we primarily chop with 4 to 6 mm chop length for the biogas plant, whereas we chop for 6 to 8 mm for the dairy cows. When it's damper, it may go up to 10 mm. To do so, it is very important that the knives are in top condition, but sharpening takes place several times a day so that we do not have to compromise on the overall chopping quality. The chopping quality is highly important for us all year round, which is why the chopping quality is checked daily. We use the bucket method for this. We take a litres measure with silage and pour it into a bucket filled with water. The grains and the grain stock sink, and we must not find any more than 2 whole grains in this mass, or even better, no whole grains at all, and that means that the quality is acceptable. Of course, it is also important for us that the knives are so sharp that we do not find any excess lengths, so that we do not find components in the trough later that the cattle will not ingest owing to poor threshing quality. In the ensiling chain, it is highly important that this runs constantly. This means that only the vehicles we need are utilised, and not an excessive amount. And we also try to time it so that a vehicle arrives regularly rather than all at the same time, guaranteeing a continuous flow, including compaction. We work with 2 roller tractors, one of whom pushes upwards while the other rolls. So we try to avoid these peak times. Large vehicles are widely used in the maize sector, and they dump or unload the harvested crop in front of the heap. An important aspect of this process is that the thickness of the layer does not exceed 30 centimeters during pushing up. Only then sufficient compacting can be obtained. If there is too much mass there, this creates air pockets, and the problems are pre-programmed. Thin layers that are there then continuously compacted are therefore highly important. The rolling tractor decides on the speed of the entire chopping chain. We work with the following rule of thumb for the compaction. The tonnage per hour divided by 4 is the rolling capacity. In practical terms, this must be the required tonnage of the roller tractors. For example, I would divide 120 tons per hour by 4, which gives me 30 tons of rolling capacity. This involves 2 tractors with 15 tons each. If I have that, things will run smoothly. At Gut Hülsenberg, the covering process is as follows. It is reasonably compacted, which is of course the basic prerequisite. There is no excessive rolling towards the end, because you might also pump air into the silo this way, and that's something we don't want. Instead, after it is completely compacted, an oxygen barrier is put over it. After the underlay film comes the cover film, which is a high-quality one and has also passed corresponding tests regarding gas tightnesses, etc. Once the barrier is lying reasonably smoothly, without many wrinkles, then we pull the silage netting over the silage. Afterwards, sandbags are positioned around the entire pile to ensure an appropriate sealing, so that we might also be able to observe a gas bubble the next day, which is always a great sign that it has worked. Moreover, rings of sandbags are always placed over the pile in 5-meter intervals, so that the air cannot enter into the pile if the film is a little loose at one point.